The Congress party won one of its biggest electoral victories in recent times in Karnataka. The BJP, on the other hand, faced one of its biggest routs in Karnataka. So what exactly led to the BJP losing its last southern bastion? Some BJP insiders say that the party had diluted its core ideology. The import of leaders from other parties into the BJP who did not agree with the BJP's core ideology had resulted in the Karyakartas or the workers on the ground being confused as to which leader is taking which stance on which issue. The BJP's spokesperson, Vaman Acharya, in fact, had written an editorial piece in a prominent newspaper that the BJP had nothing to showcase in terms of development, and that led to its downfall. He also added that corruption too had become a major sticking point, and the BJP did very little to address that important issue. The campaigns run by the Congress party against Chief Minister Bommai stuck, and that resulted in the narrative that the BJP was the party that had the most corrupt leaders. Meanwhile, the exit of key Lingayat leaders, its main voter base, also led to the erosion of BJP's vote share, although not by much. However, it led to many seats in North Karnataka moving to the Congress party. So, again, the big question is what went wrong, or what all went wrong for the BJP in Karnataka. We're trying to understand what were the real reasons, and to do that, Mr. Suresh Kochattil, Karnataka was a state where the Congress party had the edge, but the final tally tells us that that's the kind of majority that no party had gotten in Karnataka in 3 decades.
Yeah, you're right in a sense. Like I just finished, just before you came online, I just finished the last of the 224th constituency analysis, seat by seat, as to who held it. And I wish I could share the screen with you, but I looked at factors like which ones did BJP retain and which one did BJP lose. Okay, they are lost across the board, if you can say it that way. But what I also see is a huge number of seats going from JDS to Congress. And in some cases, JDS, which was last time the runner-up, has not even been there. It is BJP who has come into the second place, which is why you see that the BJP vote share has not decreased much. It is at 36%. It was about 0.4 or 0.5 they lost from last time. The reason why, it happened the reverse way at that time. If you remember last time, the Congress got 38% in 2018, but they had only 80 seats. Where the BJP got 36% and they had 104 seats. Now, obviously, the question would be, the party with the bigger vote share should get the larger number of seats, but it didn't happen that way. This time, and everybody knows that the tactical voting that happened in more than one way, the Muslims who acknowledged today that they had voted en bloc, rejecting the smaller parties like SDPI and even MIM, which kept away at the last minute to ensure that the Muslim vote bank doesn't get split. And of course, today they're demanding the pound of flesh. They said openly they had a discussion with Congress on this fact that the Muslim vote bank is going to vote together. The impact of SDPI on the ground, which is the political wing of the banned organization PFI, is also very, very crucial because a huge chunk of the population from Kerala had moved into places like Kodagu, for example, over the last 10 to 15 years, despite certain rules which don't allow buying of coffee estates there. Now, when you look at the totality of the entire thing, the Lingayat votes, if you speak about, actually, it doesn't really show that much of a Lingayat swing, and I'm still to get into the swing part of it that way in constituency by constituency. But if I look at the Bengaluru part of it, I'm surprised. Places like Yelahanka, places like, within Bangalore city, BJP has increased its vote from 23,000, for example, in Yelahanka to 57,000. How did it happen when it is losing across the state? Obviously, those are the people who work for the IT companies and other things in Bangalore who stay there, who are the new entrants into the city, and they seem to be voting BJP way. Whether Mr. Modi ji's roadshow had an impact, I think it did have an impact. If you look at the Bengaluru constituencies, where BJP vote has actually increased. So I'm going constituency by constituency. That is why this is where it is showing that the BJP actually has held on, but it has lost because it couldn't retain many seats from where it won handsomely last time.
Dr. Basavraj, Itnal, there's a clear trend over there. You're seeing, they say that, the upper castes, the people who are, at the top of the food chain, including the people, the IT professionals that Suresh Kochattil were talking about in Bengaluru, they all seem to have voted for the BJP, and that too in huge numbers. But it is the rural Karnataka, the farmers of Karnataka, who have given their voice of support to the Congress party. If I may take an analogy for a second and tell you, it was similar to what happened after Chandrababu Naidu's first tenure in Andhra, when he had so much good work that went into Hyderabad and talking about Cyberabad and etc. etc. But then Y.H. Rajshekar Reddy had come into power, storming into power in the next election, beating Chandrababu Naidu because all the rural votes in Andhra went to YSR.
No, as far as BJP is concerned, we know that it has a considerable base in urban youth. So whether urban youth goes out and votes, that's a different thing. But they do have a very a strong support base in urban youth. That's number one. Number two, to understand why the BJP has done so dismally, bad, is it has two distinct angles to it. One is a positive on a positive note, another is on a negative note. The positive note is, if you see the swing of the vote share from JDS to BJP, it is 4.5%, and amounting to around 18 seats. So this predominantly is in old Mysore region. In old Mysore region, the stronghold, the strong man was the Gaudas and the JDS. So what DK Shivakumar did over last couple of years, every small, big, whatever opportunity he got, he went to the people there in old Mysore region saying that if you bless me, I will be your CM. You have blessed Kumar Swamy, 3 times he has become chief minister, give me one chance. In addition to that, there was this narrative that JDS always comes to power by the back door, though it ends up number 3, but somehow it comes from back door and its legitimacy is limited in as much as those terms. So that positive note of DK Shivakumar in the old Mysore region, combined with the negative impact of Lingaites in the North Karnataka. If you look, the BJP has lost close to 20 seats in North. And that is primarily because, though it is not seen in percentile swing, the emotional factor is that many of the Lingayat leaders of BJP went directly to Congress and many went against BJP and contested independent. So though that percentile does not show in Congress account, it definitely helped split the vote for BJP in many constituencies. So there is that sentimental factor of negative impact, and I don't understand why any sane politician during elections would go out and say, whether Lingayat or Muslim, whatever it is, no politician would go out and say that we don't want a certain community's votes at all. Whatever BL Santosh said or what CTR said, it amounted to that. They said it in as many words that they don't need Lingayats. Right. That's really bad politics.
Right.
And combined to that, in coastal region, there also Congress has increased its tally. That is because SDPI support. SDPI, following this halal and hijab controversies, though PFI is banned, SDPI as a political organization is not banned. So they openly supported Congress, and that's why, like Mr. Suresh was saying, today they are bargaining their pound of flesh now. So right. These are 3 factors. One is DK Shivakumar's positive note, appeal to local voters in the south, and in the coastal Karnataka, that is the SDPI factor. In north, it is Lingayat factor.
Syamprasad, Meka, you heard the diagnosis, so to speak, from Basavraj, Itnal and Suresh Kochattil. I want to help you. I want you to help us understand: is there a city versus rural divide in the way Karnataka voted, or was that a factor at all? And also in terms of the caste calculus, was there an impact, for the BJP for the way it turned out in the election?
See, basically, why are we even surprised? There will be a difference between rural and urban voters because the day-to-day issues that they face and factors on which they assess the governments are different. Simple. You can check that. In any state, there will be a difference. Unless there is a huge wave which overrides your day-to-day issues, there will be definitely rural urban dichotomy in the voting pattern. Now, coming to this, Now, instead of doing some slicing and dicing to find some way out for BJP and to protect this booth called what is Teflon coated image, we might come out with a lot of things. But that's not the thing. The issue is BJP government performed poorly and they did not enunciate their proposal for the next 5 years if they are elected to power. On those two counts, Congress is successful in sending the message that this government is not doing good. Two, they were clear that what they want to do and they have communicated. And third, well, you are communicating, but why should we trust you, right? So they did these issues like guaranteeing or Rahul Gandhi himself saying that this will be done in the first cabinet meeting. So they did all the right things. And second, for a change, you would never see this in Congress. You haven't seen it in the recent past. Congress showed the hunger. All their big leaders, all their important people pitched their tent in Karnataka and were quietly going about their campaign. BJP's attempts to divert them from their agenda did not succeed because Congress did not fall into the trap this time. That's clearly it is. That's what is there to see for everybody.